Salve Discipoli, and welcome to week 12 of our distance learning. This is it. We've made it through 3rd grade Latin. So good job. Give yourselves a round of applause. Nice job. I'm proud of you. So instead of doing a super boring review packet, I figured I'd give you a crossword puzzle to try. All of the hints given, or the clues rather, are to help us review all the grammar that we learned this year. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fill out the crossword puzzle here so that you have the answers, and it'll also give us a chance to look over some things that we've talked about this year. And don't worry, if you forget it over the summer, you're going to see it again next year, okay, in 4th grade Latin. Ooh. All right, so here we go. So just as you, just to point out to you, these are the hints, or the clues rather, and I've given you a word bank, which should be helpful. All right, so here we go. Let's start with these. All right. We'll start with number 3, across. Okay. Number 3, across. Actually, that's a little too thick. Let's make that a little thinner. There we go, better. All right, first declension nouns that look feminine but are masculine in gender. Okay, now I've given them to you here. Poeta, agricola, incola, and nauta are known as the blank nouns. Okay, now the hint is given in the first letter of each. What does this spell? Poeta, agricola, incola, and nauta. Well, let's write them down and see what we come up with. We've got poeta, agricola, incola, and nauta. What's that spell? P-A-I-N. Pain. Okay, these pain nouns are ones that look like they're feminine, but they are in fact masculine. Now, if you take a look, okay, they look like first declension nouns, and we know that most first declension nouns are feminine, right? Poeta, poetai, agricola, agricolae, nauta, nautai, incola, incolai. Okay, so they look like they're first declension feminine nouns, but in fact, they are first declension masculine nouns. They're the exception to the rule. Okay, so number 3 across is pain. It's over here. P-A-I-N. Now I'm going to write in all capitals for this, so if that makes it easier for you. All right, next. Oops, let's make that a little bigger so we don't have to spend forever erasing stuff. Whoops. Okay, number 4. Actually, let's skip that one. Okay, another question. All right, so aside from the pain nouns, let's look at 23 across. Most first declension nouns are blank in gender. Okay, now aside from the pain nouns, which look feminine but are masculine, most first declension nouns, they're feminine. Okay, some examples of first declension nouns would be, let's say terra, terrae, it's feminine, femina, feminae. Okay, and your favorite mensa, mensae. Okay, right? You've got land, or earth rather, woman, and table. Okay, they are not necessarily, whatever the object is not necessarily feminine, like in real life. Like a table's not a girl, but the noun itself is feminine. Okay, so number 23 across is feminine. Here it is. Okay. Next. All right, so far we've used pain and we've used feminine. Okay. Now, let's see where we can go from here to kind of make it not so skippy aroundy and jumpy. All right, well, while we're on the topic of nouns, let's talk about them. Number 9, across. A declension in Latin is like a noun blank. Okay, I've said this before. Remember, Latin nouns are born into a family or a declension, and that's where it stays. Okay, so the word for table, mensa mensae, will always belong to this noun family. Equus equi will always belong to this noun family. And caelum caeli will always belong to this noun family. A noun cannot change its family, and a noun cannot change its gender. Okay, that's just the way that Latin is. So a declension, then, can be thought of as a noun family. All right, so let's go back. Let's find family down here. There it is. And 9 across is family. Where is 9? There it is. So a declension, a noun declension, is like a noun family. Okay? There we go. Next. Continuing on with nouns. Now, nouns belong to a declension, okay, and nouns have gender. Okay, when I ask you about a noun, you'd give me the gender. You can give me the number. Number refers to whether it's one or more than one person. Okay, and then you'd give me the case. Now, case, what you see here, is how we determine what the noun is doing in the sentence. Okay, and these are the names of the cases: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, come on, and ablative. Okay, now each of these, we have a specific, I don't know if you guys remember from back in the beginning of the year, we had a little device that we learned to remember what order the nouns go in. Okay, so nominative, never, genitive, give, dative, dogs, accusative, actual, ablative, abuse. Okay, never, give, dogs, actual, abuse. All right, nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. All right, so that's how you can remember the order of the cases in Latin. So let's go over here and check it out. Number 5 down. The case that has the noun job of the subject, noun, or predicate nominative, never. Okay, which case is never? Well, 5 down, it's going to be nominative. Okay, so 5 down, let's find it right over here. N-O-M-I-N-A-T-I-V-E, nominative. Okay, so that's 5 down. Now, number 4 across, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but we're sticking with subjects here, with topics rather. Okay, number 4 across, the case that has the noun job of possession, give. Okay, what case is give? Well, it's the genitive case. So 4 across is genitive. Where's 4 across? Here it is. G-E-N-I-T-I-V-E. Genitive. Okay? All right, 17 across. The case that has the noun job of indirect object, dogs, is your clue here. Which one is dogs? Well, that's the dative, of course. So 17 across is dative. Okay, that's D-A-T-I-V-E. Dative, 17 across. Okay? Now, 15 down. 15 down, the case that has the noun job of the direct object or object of the preposition. Our clue here is actual. So which case is actual? Accusative, right? Because that AC, that AC is like accusative. Okay, so 15 down is accusative. Let's find that. Here we are. Okay, A-C-C-U-S-A-T-I-V-E, accusative. All right? And finally, where are you? Looking for it. 20 down. The case that has the noun job of the object of the preposition. Abuse is your hint here. Okay, which one is abuse? Ablative. Okay, so that was 20 down. Ablative, 20 down. That's over here. A, B, L, T, I, V, ablative. Okay. So that's that. So now we've used nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. Okay. Continuing with our nouns. All right, let's talk about number 10. Okay, number 10 across, known as neither gender. Okay, remember in Latin you've got 3 genders. You've got masculine, feminine, and neuter. Okay, and you know the endings for these already, right? Most of these are feminine, these are masculine, and these are neuter. These can be considered neither. Okay, they're not girly, nor are they boy-y. They're just an in-between. Right, so number 10 across is neuter. That's right up here. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, so neuter. Next. All right, so we've just used neuter. Let's cross that off. Now, before moving on, we should talk about the neuter rule. Okay, and the neuter rule is the rule that states that for all neuter nouns, the nominative and accusative case forms are exactly the same, and the nominative and accusative plural always ends in a short A. So let's take a look at what that means. Okay, let's take a look at these neuter endings here. So for neuter nouns, it says that the nominative and the accusative are the same. And if you look here and here, that's true. And are the same ending. Okay, and it also states that the nominative and accusative plural both end in a short A. And if you check it out, look at that. Okay, so that's the neuter rule. You don't necessarily need to know that right now, but it's going to come in handy next year when we talk about it again. So 19 across is neuter rule. Now remember with these, the space counts as a space. So N-E-U-T-E-R space R-U-L-E. Okay, that's how that's going to fit. All right, you don't fill in that space. It's blank. Okay, so 19 across, that's the neuter rule. All right. Now, let's still continue talking about nouns. Okay. The process of listing a noun with all of its possible declension or family endings is blank. Huh? Declining is the answer. Okay, so declining would look like this. Let's say we have a noun. Let's write it over here. Nautai. Okay? Now I want to decline this noun, so I know that it belongs to this first declension family, so I'm gonna apply these endings to this word. So it would be now ta, now tai, now tai, now tam, now ta, now tai, now tarum, now tis, now tas, now tis. All right, or like mensa, for example, right? Mensa, mensai, mensai, mensam, mensa, mensai, mensarum, mensis, mensas, mensis. Or we could do another gender, another noun type. Let's do the word for sky, kailum, kaili. All right, we'd add the second declension neuter endings. Okay, kailum, kaili, kailo, kailum, kailo, kaila, kailorum, kailis, kaila, kailis. Okay, pretty much what I'm doing right now is I'm just declining. Okay, I'm declining. I'm giving each noun all the endings it could possibly ever have. All right, so 27 across is declining. So 27 is right here. D, E, C, L, I, N, I, N, G, declining. Okay, so that's 27 across. So we're still talking about nouns, and speaking of nouns, number 2 down, a person, place, thing, or idea. You know what that is. That's a noun. 2 down is a noun. 2 down is a noun. Yeah, that rhymes. It's super cool because 2 down is a noun. All right, person, place, thing, or an idea. Okay. So let's see, we've used noun, and so far that's it. Okay, now let's talk about this one here. Still talking about nouns. The abbreviation for a predicate noun is, this one's pretty easy, that's PRN. So 12 across is PRN. Okay, next. I'm trying to see if we got anything. 26 down. The abbreviation for the subject noun. What is that? Subject noun? SN. Okay, so 26 down is SN. That's over here. All right. Next. Anything else about nouns that we want to talk about? No. Nope. Okay. So now we're going to move on to verbs. Okay, and at the beginning of this week packet, what you did was you filled in your verb endings. Okay. Now I've gone ahead and I've included what each verb ending means. Okay, because that's how Latin works, right? To say I love, you say amo. To say y'all love, it's amatis. We love is amamus. Okay, the ending will help you out here. So for this part, I'd like you to recall the conjugating Latin verbs song that you guys know so well. All right, and see if you can sing it with me. I'll start. Conjugating Latin verbs as easy as can be. O-S-T, M-U-S-T-I-S-N-T, O-S-T-I-U-He, M-U-S, that means we. T-I-S is y'all and N-T they, hooray! Conjugating Latin verbs as easy as can be. O-S-T, M-U-S-T-I-S-N-T. Okay? So that's how you can remember those things. Now let's go and answer some verb questions. Number 25 down. The verb ending that means I. Okay, well, we just talked about it. 25 down, the answer is O. Okay, so O we're going to cross out. 25 down is O. 25 is right here. Okay, it's a single letter, so it's a little funky. All right, let's see, what else? Number 11, across. The verb ending that means you, okay, we just talked about that as well. Meh, come on. You is S. All right, so S we're going to cross out, and that's 11 across. So S, where is 11? Here it is. Ta-da! All right, next. 16 across. The verb ending that means he, she, or it. Okay, and we just talked about that. He, she, or it is T. Okay, so 16 across is T. Where's 16? Oh, would you look at that? We've already filled it in. Hee hee. Okay, next. Let's do over here. Okay, number 7 down. The verb ending that means we. Okay, O or M is I, S means you, T means he, she, or it. Muss means we. Okay, so that's we. Muss, and that's 7 down. It's over here. Okay. Alright, so what did we just use? We used O, we used S, we used T, and we used muss. Okay, almost there. Now, the process, number 18 down, the process of listing a verb with all its possible endings is blank. All right, what's the song that we just sang? What were we doing to the Latin verb? We were conjugating it. Okay, so the answer for 18 down is conjugating. D. Conjugating. Okay, so that's that. Right, so you decline a noun, you conjugate a verb. We'll do more work with that next year too, so don't worry. All right, now continuing to talk about verbs. The verb type that tells you what the subject is doing, okay, that would be an action verb. Okay, so 24 across is action. And that's over here. Action. All right, so we said action. What's the other kind of verb? It's a linking verb. Okay, and that is 22 down. 22, the verb type that tells you what the subject is. Okay, so 22 across. I'm sorry, 22 down is linking. Where are you? There you are. L-I-N-K-I-N-G. Linking. Whoa. Okay. So we've just used action and we've used linking as well. Now, let's talk about the abbreviations for those. The abbreviation for a simple action verb is just, pretty easy, it's just V. Okay, so 30 across is V. Where's 30? 30. Where are you? Why can't I? Oh, silly me. We already did it. Because we knew ablative. All right. So we're done with that. Number 28. The abbreviation for a linking verb is, that's pretty easy. It's LV. Okay, so 28 down, that's over here, is LV. All right. Now, the last couple things we should go over before we are done with our review for the year is sentence patterns. Okay, now at the beginning of this lesson, you filled this out, okay, and you wrote down the different patterns. So you're going to completely ignore all of this up here. Okay, we're just going to focus on We're going to focus on this right now. Sorry, it's wasting time. Meh, 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 meh. Get to see Magistra be weird again one more time because why not? You know she's crazy. Okay. All right, can we do the sentence pattern chant together? You know how it goes. Please say it with me. Here we go. Pattern A has a simple form. It's made with a verb and a subject noun. SNV, SNV. Pattern A has a simple form. Pattern B is a pattern of being. Two nouns surround a small LV. SNLV, PRN, SNLV, PRN. Pattern B is a pattern of being. Pattern C is similar to B. A noun needs an adjective, don't you see? SNLV, PRA, SNLV, PRA. Pattern C is similar to B. Okay, so that was the sentence pattern chant that we learned this year, and you should have those committed to your memory. All right? So now we got some questions about them. Number 21 across says, whoops, we don't want that. Where's that nice yellow? Right, that's the same. It's not the same, but whatever. The sentence pattern that has a simple form, SNV. Well, pattern A has a simple form. Okay, it's made with a verb and a subject noun. So 21 across is pattern A. 21 across, where are you? Finding it is here. Pattern A. PATTERN. Space A. Don't fill that in because otherwise it's not going to fit. Okay, next. Number 8 down. Actually, no, we're going to do 13 down. The sentence pattern, that is a pattern of being. Pattern B is a pattern of being. Okay, it's made, two nouns surround a small LV. Okay, so 13 is pattern B, and that's over here. PATTERN, space, B. Remember, don't fill that in. Okay, it's got a space. Space. All right, and last sentence pattern question. The sentence pattern that's similar to B. Okay, well, a noun needs an adjective, don't you see? That's pattern C. SNLVPRA. So 8 down is pattern, 8 down is pattern C. Sorry, PATTERN. Okay, remember, don't fill in that blank here because there's nothing, otherwise it won't fit. Okay. All right. Now the last thing I want to go over with you before we say goodbye, I'm very sad about that, is the principal parts. Okay? Now when I've had you learn your Latin verbs, okay, each verb has 4 principal parts. And the principal parts are called principal parts because they're important. They help us. And you'll see more about why that is next year, okay? But I've put this down here for us as a reference. All right? And I gave an example too. So the first principal part, let's look over here. Amo means I love. Okay, that's called the present. Okay, that principal part is called the present. The second principal part, okay, amare, to love. Okay, that's called the infinitive. All right, and the second principal part comes into play when you're doing verb conjugating. That sounds familiar to you, okay? The steps to doing that. You go to the second principal part, the infinitive that ends in RE. You drop the RE and left with me is the stem of the verb to the tune of the Macarena, okay? So that's what this one's for. Second principal part is the infinitive. Whoops. The third principal part, amawi, I loved, okay? It's called the perfect. All right, and finally, the fourth principal part, amatum, loved. Okay, it's called the passive participle or the supine. All right, you don't need to know the third principal part and the fourth principal part really just yet, but you should be memorizing the vocabulary for it, okay? So when you learn your verbs, make sure you get to learn all four principal parts. So amo, amare, amawi, amatum. Always, always, always the four principal parts. Okay, so based on what we just said, right? First principal part is the present, second is the infinitive, third is the perfect, and fourth is the passive participle or supine. Okay, so let's fill that stuff in. 14 across. The first principal part is known as the present. So 14 across is present. That's over here. Whoops, stop moving. P-R-E-S-E-N-T. Present. Okay. 29 across. The second principal part is known as the infinitive. It's 29 across. That's over here. T-I-V-E. All right. Next, we're going to do 6 down. The third principal part is known as the perfect. Okay, so 6 down is perfect. Wer is it? There it is. P-E-R-F-E-C-T. Perfect. Okay, and finally, 1 down. The fourth principal part is known as the blank participle. What goes in here? The passive participle, also known as the supine. All right, you don't need to know what that means just yet. Just know that it does exist and it is a thing. All right, so these are the answers to our crossword puzzle review. If you need to pause it again to check your answers, you may do so. But I do need you guys to submit this work packet for week 12 on Google Classroom, so you can get credit for it, and you can get attendance credit for it too, right? It's going to be a grade and your attendance. But pretty much that's it. So congratulations, you guys, on finishing up the year as awesome third graders. I cannot wait to see you guys. I really can't. I miss you so much, and I hope that next year we get to return to school so we can do fourth grade Latin together in person. All right, because fourth grade Latin is going to be so cool. I'm so excited, and I hope you are too. Over the summer, if you would like, I will send a link to the fourth grade website so you can start looking at the vocabulary for next year to kind of get ahead if you want. All right, that's totally up to you. You don't have to. But remember, vocabulary is super duper important, okay? Especially at this stage in the game, the Latin game, that is. Okay, so enjoy your summer. I miss you guys. I'm praying for you, and really well done. Good job. I'm very proud of you guys. All right, so I'll talk to you soon. Walete de skips.